up, she said firmly. Mama. We are going to see the Dibia. Now. But Mama, it's night. I don't care. Before this thing kills another person, we must find out what is behind it. Linda hesitated. Then nodded. She didn't know what scared her more, the curse, or what they might discover. People said he spoke to the ancestors. That he could look at you and see not just your soul, but your secrets. By the time they arrived, the crickets had gone quiet. The air was heavy with herbs, smoke, and something older. Ogudai stepped out of the dark, holding a carved staff. His eyes were white, not blind.
Before we unravel today's story, make sure to like, comment, and share. You're watching the Global Storyteller Official, where every tale leaves a mark.
In the quiet heart of Umwakano village, where palm trees danced with the wind and the river whispered secrets to the sand, a girl named Linda was known for her beauty, her silence, and her simplicity. She was the kind of girl that made elders smile and young boys forget their words. Born to a humble farmer and his wife, she grew up fetching water from the stream, roasting corn under the sun, and kneeling to greet every elder who passed by. But no one, not even her own mother, ever imagined that her life would become the village's darkest mystery. Linda was an only child. Her mother, Mama Ebiub, often said she was a miracle, born after 7 painful miscarriages. And because of that, she was raised with love, care, and caution. Too much caution, perhaps. On the morning of her 18th birthday, Linda woke up to the sound of singing birds and the smell of boiling herbs. Her mother was in the backyard, preparing a special soup. Her father had gone out early to slaughter a goat. It wasn't a big celebration, they were poor. But it was a Thanksgiving kind of day. The kind of day where blessings were counted out loud. Linda, Mama Ebiub called softly, "Go and call your friend Adogo. Tell her to come and eat with us." Adogo. The only girl Linda ever called her best friend. But if only her mother had known, if only Linda had known what that name would soon mean to their family. Adogo was already waiting outside when Linda stepped out. Her dress shimmered like it had been sewn with secrets. Her hair was wrapped in a red scarf. And in her hands was a small box tied with shiny ribbon. "Happy birthday," she smiled, stretching the box forward. Linda laughed. "You didn't have to. I wanted to. Open it later, when you're alone." That should have been the first warning. But love trusts. And Linda had always trusted Adogo. After all, hadn't she been there when Linda's mother was sick? Didn't she help her clean the compound, wash her clothes, cry when Linda cried? So Linda took the box and smiled. That night, after the food had been eaten, and the moon had come out to sit over the mango trees, Linda sat on her mat and untied the ribbon. Inside the box was a bracelet. Black beads with a red stone in the middle. It looked ordinary. Too ordinary. But as soon as she touched it, her body shivered. Her chest tightened. Her heart began to race, not in fear, but in desire. A hunger she didn't understand began to bloom inside her. She wore it. And slept. But when she woke up, Linda was not the same girl who had gone to sleep under her mother's roof. The first sign came when Papa Nadezi, the old carpenter who came to fix their window, walked past her. She felt something burn inside her. A strange pull. A flutter between her legs that scared her. Her eyes followed him even when her head wanted to turn away. She hid in her room. But it got worse. By evening, 3 more men had come to the compound for one reason or the other. And every time she saw one, her breath would catch, her lips would tremble, and her body would betray her mind. She wanted them. All of them. Not because she loved them, but because something deep and dark inside her was pulling her like a magnet. It was like her body was no longer her own. She tore the bracelet off. But it was too late. That night, she dreamt of Adogo standing in the forest, holding the bracelet. "I warned you never to shine brighter than me," Adogo said, voice soft and cruel. "Now let's see how many men will want you when you can't even control yourself." Linda woke up in sweat, heart pounding. She wanted to scream, but her voice was trapped. She wanted to run, but where? And as she turned to the mirror, her own reflection blinked back with a smile she didn't make. Warning, the course has just begun, and it's already changing everything she thought she knew about herself. She couldn't control herself anymore. Linda has almost half the taste of all the men in the village, either old men or young men. The rooster crowed 3 times, and Umwakano stirred to life like it did every morning. But in Linda's compound, something had shifted. She hadn't slept all night. She sat on the edge of her bamboo bed, knees pulled to her chest, staring at the bracelet now hidden under a basket. Her heart was heavy. Her body was light. And her mind felt like it was at war with itself. She could still feel it, that burning need she couldn't explain. That unnatural desire that took over her whenever she saw a man. She thought it would stop when she removed the bracelet. But it didn't. Instead, it got worse. That morning, when she stepped out to sweep the compound, Chijioke, the village tailor's son, passed by with a bag of fabric over his shoulder. He was someone Linda had known since childhood. Someone she had never even noticed as a man. But now, her heart started beating as if it wanted to escape her chest. Her hand trembled. She pressed her thighs together, ashamed of what she was feeling. He smiled at her. "Happy birthday again, Linda." She opened her mouth to reply, but the words got lost somewhere between her throat and her body's craving. She ran inside. Mama Ebube noticed the change. Linda, who was once always in the sun, now hid in shadows. She barely spoke. She flinched whenever a man got close. She had started locking her door even in the daytime. And sometimes, Mama Ebube would find her weeping quietly in the backyard with her head between her knees. "Linda," her mother said gently one morning, "what is going on? You are not yourself." "I'm fine, Mama," she whispered. "I'm just not feeling well." "Is it a man?" Linda's eyes widened. No, Mama, I swear. You know you can talk to me." But Linda couldn't. Because how could she explain that the very sight of a man now turned her into someone she didn't recognize? How could she say that last night, she dreamt of sneaking out into the road and laying with a stranger under the moonlight? The dreams felt too real. Too wrong. And worst of all, Adogo hadn't shown her face since that birthday. Linda sent a child to go and call her. The child returned and said, "She said she's not around. She's in her father's farm." But Linda knew that was a lie. Adogo was hiding. And Linda was beginning to suspect why. 2 days later, the whispers began. The village was small. Eyes were plenty. And tongues were faster than feet. Someone said they saw Linda touching herself behind the banana tree in the afternoon. Another said she was now seducing men in secret. "Spirits don't enter people without reason," one old woman hissed. "Maybe she opened her legs to the wrong spirit in her dreams." "She's cursed," someone else added. "She should see the dibia." The rumors found their way to Mama Ebube. And that night, she sat with her daughter, holding a rosary in one hand and Linda's trembling fingers in the other. "My child," she said with tears in her voice, "whatever this is, we will fight it. I will not let you be swallowed." Linda broke down. "Mama, I think Adogo did something. I think she cursed me." Her mother's face stiffened. But before she could speak, they heard it. A loud scream. From the front of their compound. They ran outside. And there, in the middle of the path, was Ikachuku, the young apprentice from the blacksmith's hut, lying on the ground, eyes wide open, mouth foaming. Villagers gathered quickly. Some shouting. Some praying. Others pointing at Linda. He had just walked past her. He had smiled. And now he was unconscious. Or dead. All eyes turned to Linda. Someone whispered, she looked at him, and that's when he fell. She's possessed, another cried. She's dangerous, a third spat. And just like that, the girl who was loved was now feared. Warning, she was still breathing, but her reputation was not, and someone in the shadows was smiling, because everything was going exactly as planned. The night felt heavier than usual. Wind rustled through the mango trees like it carried voices. The moon hung low, like an eye watching the village breathe in fear. Linda sat on the floor of her room, arms wrapped around her knees, staring blankly at the cracked wall. Her ears still echoed with the cries from earlier that day. Ikachuku had survived. But he hadn't spoken since. And the villagers believed it was her doing. Mama Ebube came into the room, her wrapper tight around her waist, her face drained of sleep. Get up, she said firmly. Mama. We are going to see the Dibia. Now. But Mama, it's night. I don't care. Before this thing kills another person, we must find out what is behind it. Linda hesitated. Then nodded. She didn't know what scared her more, the curse, or what they might discover. The journey to the Dibia's hut was silent. He lived at the edge of Umwakanu, deep in the woods, where the sky disappeared behind thick leaves and no one dared walk after sunset. His name was Ogudai, a man of many names, feared more than loved, respected more than trusted. People said he spoke to the ancestors. That he could look at you and see not just your soul, but your secrets. By the time they arrived, the crickets had gone quiet. The air was heavy with herbs, smoke, and something older. Ogudai stepped out of the dark, holding a carved staff. His eyes were white, not blind, just otherworldly. I've been expecting you, he said, not as a greeting, but a verdict. Linda's heart thumped. He led them inside. The hut smelled of firewood and old blood. Bones hung from the ceiling. Charms, feathers, and goats lined the walls. In the center was a mat. Ogudai pointed. Sit. Linda obeyed. He stared at her for what felt like forever. Then he began to hum. Low. Deep. Dangerous. He touched her forehead. And her body jerked. What did you see? Mama Ebube cried. Ogudai's voice dropped lower. She carries a desire that is not hers. It is tied to something given. Something won. The bracelet, Linda whispered. Ogudai's eyes narrowed. Did you keep it? I hid it. He stood abruptly and threw bones on the mat. They rolled, clattered, and stopped in a shape Linda couldn't understand. But he did. He hissed. This was done by a woman. A friend. Someone jealous. Someone you trusted. Mama Ebube gasped. A doggo. But why would she? Linda began. Ogudai cut in. Because your light was brighter. Because her heart was darker. And because someone else helped her. Linda blinked. What do you mean? She didn't cast this spell alone. Silence. Then Ogudai added, voice tightening, there's a name buried inside you. A name your mother never told you. A truth that can break this curse, or bury you with it. Mama Ebube's body stiffened. What name? Linda asked. Mama Ebube didn't answer. Mama, she asked again. But her mother wouldn't meet her eyes. Suddenly, Ogudai began to chant. The gourd in his hand shook. The bones rattled again. And then, Linda screamed. Not from pain. From vision. In her mind, she saw herself, but not as she was now. She saw herself as a baby, laid on an altar, surrounded by women in red. One of them was her mother. But another was Adogo's mother. A blood pact was being made. Linda opened her eyes. Tears spilled. "What did you do, Mama?" Her mother broke down. "I didn't know it would follow you. I thought it was over." "What did you do?" "I offered you, to save myself. It was long ago. I was barren. I was desperate. I just wanted a child." Oguda shook his head. "Then the curse is older than we thought." "But Adogo wasn't born yet when they made the pact," Linda said. "Why would she carry the hatred?" "Because," Oguda replied, "the curse passed into both bloodlines. And hatred is a seed that grows in silence." Suddenly, the fire in the hut flickered wildly. The god cracked. And Oguda gasped. "She's not alone." "Who?" Mama Ebiub shouted. "Adogo. Someone is helping her. And they know you've come here. They are watching us now." Just then, a stone crashed through the window. A message was tied to it. Oguda unwrapped it. His eyes darkened. "It says, tell her not to fight it. The men will keep falling. The next one will be her father." Linda's blood ran cold. Her mother screamed. And in that moment, they all knew. The real battle was only just beginning. Warning, a curse born of desperation. A betrayal rooted in blood. And a threat that now targets the one man she loves the most, her father. The night air tasted bitter. Linda and Mama Ebiub raced back home, their slippers slapping against the red earth of Umwakano. The words in the letter haunted every step. The next one will be her father. Oguda had offered to follow them, but Linda refused. "If they see you with us, they'll know we're trying to break it." The Dibia only nodded, understanding more than she said. When they reached their compound, the gate was open. Strange. The lantern Mama had left burning outside was gone. The chicken coop was quiet, too quiet. Even the neighbor's goat, usually noisy at night, was silent. "Mama," Linda's voice shook. "Where is Papa?" They ran inside the hut. He wasn't there. His mat was empty. His wrapper still folded. His walking stick untouched by the door. Mama Ebiub screamed his name into the night. "Obina! Obina! Where are you?" No answer. Linda ran to the neighbors. "Did you see my father? Please. Did anyone see him leave?" One woman said, "I saw him sitting under the mango tree around dusk." Another added, "He asked my son for palm wine." But no one had seen him leave. As more villagers gathered, whispering and watching, a strange sound echoed from the path behind the house. Crunch. Step. Crunch. Footsteps. They turned. And there he was. Papa Obina, walking slowly, but something was wrong. His eyes were unfocused. His shirt was torn. His feet, muddy. And he was smiling. The kind of smile that didn't belong to him. "Papa!" Linda shouted, running to him. He didn't respond. Just walked past her like she was a ghost. "Obina!" Mama Ebiub sobbed, grabbing his hand. "What happened to you?" He turned slowly and looked at her. His mouth moved, but no words came out. Then he reached into his pocket and pulled out the bracelet. The one Linda had hidden. Linda stepped back. "No. I left that inside the house. Under the basket." "How did you?" But Papa Obina wasn't listening. He dropped to his knees and began to laugh. Loud. Deep. Wrong. Then he screamed, not like a man, but like a beast. His body twisted. His eyes rolled. And he collapsed to the ground, shaking violently. "Get water," someone shouted. "Call the dibia," another cried. But Linda knew this was no sickness. This was possession. And she was the key. She dropped beside her father, tears pouring. "Papa, please, fight it, fight it." But his eyes opened, and this time, they weren't his. "I warned you, Linda," the voice came. But it wasn't Papa's voice. It was a girl's voice. Chilling. Familiar. "You touch what was mine. Now feel what it means to lose." It was Adogo, speaking through him. Then Papa Obina's body went still. Breath shallow. Silent. Mama Ebube screamed like the sky had fallen. But Linda didn't cry. She stood up slowly, her fist clenched, her heart breaking, not just from fear, but from fury. "I'm not going to run anymore," she whispered. A crowd had gathered. Some were crying. Some were praying. Others looked at her like she was death itself. And then from the back of the crowd, Adogo appeared. Yes. She was there. Standing tall. Smiling. Dressed in white. No fear in her eyes. Linda's lips parted in shock. You came here. I wanted to see the look on your face," Adogo said calmly. "He was the first man you ever loved, right?" Linda rushed forward, but the villagers held her back. Adogo only laughed. "Fight me, and more will fall." "You're not doing this alone," Linda hissed. "Who's helping you? Who's behind this?" Adogo tilted her head. "Some secrets don't live in this village. Some were buried far before you were born. What do you want from me?" Adogo's eyes darkened. "I want your light to die." Then she turned. And vanished into the night like smoke. Warning: her father has been taken. Her enemy has revealed herself. But the war is only beginning, and the final truth is still buried in the past. 3 days passed. 3 long, silent, unbearable days since Papa Obina collapsed. He hadn't died, but he hadn't spoken either. He lay on the mat like a tree cut from its roots, breathing but not living. The priest came. The pastor came. Even Ogudai came again. But Papa was gone. At least, the part of him that was still her father. Mama Ebube stopped eating. Her eyes stayed red, her fingers constantly clutching her rosary. She blamed herself. And in many ways, Linda did too. But pain had turned to purpose in her chest. The spell wasn't just evil, it was generational. And if Ogudai was right, then the answers weren't just with Adogo. They were buried in her family's past. So, at dawn, she packed a small bag and headed to a place her mother had forbidden all her life. The hut of her grandmother, Mama Nena. It stood on the other side of the forest, near the old yam fields. Mama Nena had died when Linda was 5, but the stories people whispered were louder than the silence she left behind. They said she was a woman of power. One who helped barren women with charms. One who had many secrets. And Linda was beginning to believe one of those secrets was her. The path was narrow, covered in vines, untouched for years. The birds didn't sing here. The trees leaned in, listening. As Linda approached the hut, a strange wave passed over her skin, like the air didn't want her there. The door creaked open. Dust danced in the sunlight pouring through holes in the roof. Spider webs clung to corners. A stack of mats leaned against a wall. But the room smelled sweet. Like dried herbs, burnt incense, and something older. She stepped inside. And there, on the shelf, was a wooden box carved with the symbol of a snake eating its tail. The same symbol that was on her bracelet. Her breath caught. She opened the box. Inside were dried leaves, an old rosary, and a letter, faded with time. She unfolded it, hands trembling. It was addressed to Ebube, her mother. If you are reading this, then the daughter I helped you birth has reached the edge of the curse. You must tell her the truth. She is not only your child. She is a vessel, born to balance the pact you made. If you remain silent, it will consume her. Linda blinked. Her lips quivered. A vessel. She searched deeper in the hut and found an old portrait. A black and white photo of her grandmother holding a baby. Behind her, two women stood. One of them, unmistakably, was Adogo's mother. The pact was real. And it tied both families together in something far darker than jealousy. Then, a creak behind her. She turned sharply. A figure stood in the doorway. Cloaked. Silent. Watching. Who are you? Linda asked, voice hoarse. The figure stepped into the light. It was a man. Young. Handsome. But his eyes weren't ordinary. You shouldn't have come here alone, he said softly. Linda took a step back. Did Adogo send you? No, he said. I've been watching you. Protecting you. Protecting me. He nodded. There are two sides to this curse. You've only met one. Linda's chest tightened. And who are you? The man removed a small chain from around his neck. It bore the same snake symbol. I'm the child of the second woman in that picture, he said. They didn't just curse your family. They cursed mine too. But I escaped it. And now, you must too. Before Linda could speak again, a loud shriek rang from deep inside the forest. The man's eyes widened. They followed you. Who? He grabbed her arm. We have to leave, now. But the letter. They already know you found it. If they catch you with it, they'll kill you before you can break the curse. Another shriek. Closer. The trees shook. The air darkened. And Linda realized this wasn't just about her anymore. The curse had roots far deeper than anyone had dared to dig. Warning, she thought her enemy was one girl. Now she's caught in a war of bloodlines, ancient pacts, and hidden allies, and the forest is no longer safe. They ran. Branches scratched their arms. Roots tried to trip their feet. The forest behind the old hut was alive, but not with animals. With spirits, or something darker. The air shimmered like heat, though the ground was cool. And through it all, that shriek kept echoing, bouncing off trees, chasing them like a predator that didn't breathe. Linda gripped the letter in her fist, the stranger dragging her forward. His name was Ezina. He moved like someone who'd run from danger all his life, fast, focused, fearless. But Linda was running for something else entirely. The truth. By the time they burst out onto the footpath near the stream, her breath was gone, and her legs shook like yam leaves in the wind. Ezina paused, looking behind them. The forest had gone quiet. Too quiet. They won't follow us into the village, he said. Not in daylight. Not yet. Linda swallowed hard. Why are you helping me? Ezina looked at her for a long moment. Because your curse, and mine, were born from the same betrayal. And without saying more, he led her back home. When they arrived at the compound, it was dusk. Mama Ebube was outside, washing her husband's feet with bitter leaf water. Papa Obina still hadn't spoken. Still hadn't blinked. Mama. Linda called. Her mother turned, startled. Linda. Where did you? I went to Mama Nena's hut. I found the letter. The basin slipped from Mama Ebube's hands, water splashing at her feet. You what? I know about the pact. I know what you did. What she did. What they did. Mama Ebube stumbled back. Linda, listen to me. No. No more lies. No more half-truths. You've watched me suffer. You've watched me fall apart. Tell me everything. Now. Or I swear I'll leave and never return. Ezina stepped forward quietly, his presence like a shadow. Mama Ebube looked at him. Her eyes widened. You're Ngozi's boy. Ezina nodded. And you owe both of us the truth. Silence. Then, Mama Ebube sat on a stool. Her hands trembled. I was 23, she began. Childless. Desperate. The shame of my in-laws had nearly chased me from this village. Your father was already planning to marry another woman. Linda sat on the ground, knees pulled to her chest. One night, Mama Nene called me, her mother continued. She said she had a way. A ritual. A pact between three women, herself, Adogo's mother, and Ngozi, Ezina's mother. The herbs, the sacrifices, the chants. We did everything they said. We promised that if the ancestors gave us children, we'd offer one thing in return, the light of those children, once they turned 18. Linda gasped. You offered my future. Mama Ebube broke into tears. I didn't know what it meant. I thought it was symbolic. I just wanted a child. And you came. And for 18 years, nothing happened. I thought we were safe. I thought I had escaped it. But Adogo didn't, Ezina said. Her mother passed the anger to her. My mother tried to flee. But the others called her a coward. That's why you left the village, Mama Ebube whispered. Ezina nodded. My mother moved us far. She told me everything. She told me that the day Linda turned 18, the light would be claimed, unless it was stopped. And what exactly is the light? Linda asked, voice cracking. Ezina looked at her gently. It's your soul. Your desire. Your purpose. Everything that makes you, you. Linda stared down at her hands. So Adogo isn't just trying to hurt me. She's trying to claim what I was meant to become. She's a puppet now, Mama Ebube said through tears. The curse is living through her. And every man you attract, everyone that suffers because of you, it feeds the curse. Strengthens it. And Papa? Linda asked, voice tight. Mama Ebube shook her head. If you don't stop this soon, he won't wake up. Ever. A long silence. Then Ezina spoke. The only way to stop it is to break the chain at its root. Linda looked up. How? He pulled out a second letter. This is what my mother left behind. She said if I ever found you, I should bring you to the place where it all began. Linda took the letter. It read. To the girl born of light and shadows, you must return to the forest. But this time, not to run. There is a tree that stands alone. Under it, your blood must fall. Only then will your soul return. Linda's lips trembled. I have to bleed for this? Ezina nodded. You have to sacrifice something willingly. Something that matters. Mama Ebube sobbed. I can't lose you. You already offered me once, Linda said gently. Now I choose who I'll become. And as the sun set over Umwakano, Linda stood up. Eyes full of fire. Legs steady. Tomorrow, she said, we go to the tree. Warning, she has the letters. She has the truth. And now, she's ready to bleed for freedom. But the forest has one more secret waiting. And this time, not everyone will return alive. Morning broke like a warning. Grey clouds hung low, refusing to part. Birds chirped cautiously, then fell silent. Even the breeze through Umwakano felt hesitant, like nature itself knew something was coming. Linda tied a plain white wrapper around her waist. No earrings. No powder. Just her skin, her courage, and her mother's last whispered prayer. Ezina waited near the stream, holding a small leather pouch filled with powdered charcoal, red soil, and a string of old cowries. He didn't say much. His eyes said enough. This was dangerous. This was final. "Mama," Linda said, kneeling beside her father's silent body one last time. "If I don't come back, forgive me." Mama Abube hugged her tight. "Come back with your light, Linda. Don't let them take you." And then, they left. Railway tracked the journey to the tree. The forest path they took wasn't the same as before. This one was older, overgrown, less a path and more a memory in the earth. "This way," Ezina said. "We can't take the normal trail. If they sense us coming, they'll stop the ritual." The deeper they walked, the more the air changed. It no longer smelled of leaves and soil, but of burnt oil, ash, and sweat. Like the forest was remembering the blood sacrifices of old. They passed trees that leaned like watchers. Flowers that moved without wind. And then they saw it. Deciduous tree, the sacred tree. It stood alone, tall and wrong. Its bark was black. Its leaves red. No bird perched on it. No root touched it. Around it, the ground was bare, as if even grass refused to grow there. Ezina stepped forward and drew a circle with the powder from his pouch. "Don't break this circle once we start," he warned. Linda nodded. He knelt and began to chant. "Light born from shadow. Flame torn from vow. Come not to hide, but to return now." Linda stepped into the circle. Ezina handed her a small blade. "You must let your blood fall at the root. You must mean it. You must not be afraid." Her hands trembled. She looked at the tree. And in that moment, it spoke. Not with sound, but with memory. Cyclone the vision. Her head jerked back. Her eyes rolled. And suddenly, she was standing in a clearing. 3 women stood before her. One held a pot of fire. Another, a bowl of blood. The third, her grandmother. "You are the fruit of desperation," her grandmother's voice echoed. "We traded your freedom for fertility." "Why?" Linda cried. "To become mothers, we became murderers. Then set me free." The women looked at each other. One whispered, "Only if you choose to leave something behind." "Like what?" Linda asked. Their hands pointed. Behind her stood Adogo. And behind Adogo stood Papa Obina. "You can only save one." Broken heart the choice. Linda screamed, "No. I can't, please." But the tree fed on decisions. And in the real world, Ezina shouted, "Linda, make the cut. Now." Tears streamed down her face. She looked at the blade. She looked at the tree. Then, she whispered, "Let me keep my father." She sliced her palm. Blood hit the root. The ground shook. The tree cracked. A cry echoed through the forest, Adogo's voice, screaming as if something was being ripped from her soul. Then silence. First quarter moon, but not all was right. Ezina helped Linda up. She was weak, pale, but standing. The tree had stopped glowing. "It's done," Ezina said. But Linda shook her head. "No, not yet." From behind the tree, a figure emerged. Adogo. Eyes black. Dress torn. Skin steaming like it had been burned from within. "You think this ends with blood?" she hissed. "I broke the curse," Linda said, voice shaking. "You broke a piece of it. You saved your father. But me, I'm still here. And next time." She stepped into the moonlight. She wasn't alone. Another girl stood beside her. Younger. Almost identical to Linda. Ezina whispered, "That's not possible." Linda's breath caught. "She looks like me." Adogo smirked. She is you, from the line you never knew existed. The twin that was taken. The one the curse kept. Warning, she thought it was over. But her sacrifice awakened something deeper. A second self. A twin stolen by the curse. And now, her fight has only doubled. The return to Umwakano was silent. Ezina carried the pouch of crushed herbs. Linda walked barefoot, the bandage on her palm soaked through with blood. But it wasn't just pain she carried now, it was confusion. Her mind kept circling back to that girl. The twin. How could she exist? Mama never mentioned a sister. Papa never whispered of another child. But Adogo had said it so clearly, so confidently. She is you, from the line you never knew existed. And worst of all, the girl had her face. House back at home. Papa Obina sat up for the first time in days. His eyes blinked slowly, his lips cracked with dryness, but his voice was soft and clear. Linda. Mama Ebube rushed to his side, weeping. Obina. You're back. He reached out and touched Linda's cheek. You came back for me. Linda nodded, her throat too tight for words. But as the family rejoiced, Linda excused herself quietly and went into the back hut where she kept her small mirror. She sat, stared at her own reflection. And then, it blinked. Before she did, she froze. Leaning closer, she blinked again. Her reflection didn't. It stared, and then smiled. A cruel smile. Linda jumped back. The mirror cracked. A cold wind blew through the hut, even though the windows were shut. Mama, she screamed. They rushed in. But the mirror was normal again. Just one long, faint crack through the middle. Are you okay? Ezina asked. Linda nodded slowly. I think she's following me. Not Adogo. The girl. Ezina frowned. Your twin. Linda whispered, if she's truly my sister, where was she all this time? Scroll the forgotten record. That night, while Mama Ebube and Papa Obina slept, Linda snuck into her mother's wooden box of documents. Old letters. Baptism certificates. Market receipts. Then, folded deep between wrappers, she found it. A worn-out piece of paper. Hospital of the Redeemed Births, 18 years ago. Patient, Ebube Obina. Delivery, twin girls. Status, one child declared stillborn at 5:42 a.m. The other, healthy. Linda's heart froze. Stillborn. Then how? She turned the page. Another name was scribbled faintly in pencil. Baby 2, taken to special custody, transferred for ritual cleansing. Linda's lips parted. Special custody. She'd never heard of such a thing. She stormed into her parents' room. Held the document to her mother's face. Mama, she whispered, did I have a twin? Mama Ebube's eyes widened, then instantly filled with tears. She didn't deny it. She didn't say a word. She just cried. Where is she? Linda screamed. What did you do? Ezina rushed in, hearing the noise. What's happening? Mama Ebube collapsed to the floor, covering her head. I thought she died, Linda. I swear. They told me she didn't breathe, and the nurse took her away. Who? Linda pressed. Which nurse? Her name was Nurse MMA. She said she would bury the child spiritually. She said the girl belonged to the dark side of the pact. I never asked again. I was scared. I thought it was over. Linda stared in disbelief. All these years, her sister had been alive. Raised in silence. Hidden like a ghost. And now? Now she was part of the curse. Part of the plan. Part of Adogo's army. Crescent moon that night. Linda sat outside under the stars. Ezina joined her. Neither of them spoke for a while. Then he said, "If she's your twin, there's a connection. You can feel her, right?" Linda nodded. "When she came out of the trees today, my heart stopped. Not from fear. From something deeper. Like I was looking at a part of me I never knew I lost." Ezina looked at her. "You think she's evil?" Linda's voice was quiet. "I think she's broken. I think she was raised in darkness." "Then what do we do?" Linda stared at the moon. "I find her." Warning, the mirror cracked. The secret surfaced. And now Linda must confront the other half of herself, the girl born into darkness, raised in silence, and used as a weapon against her own blood. The dreams began immediately. Not like nightmares, but invasions. They didn't come with screaming. They didn't come with fire. They came with stillness. Linda would lie down, close her eyes, and wake in a place that wasn't hers. A small hut. Mud floor. A red curtain in the corner. A child's shoe in the dust. Then a voice. "You sleep in peace. I was raised in silence." Linda turned, but always too late. A shadow slipped past. A presence. Her presence. And then she would wake. Each time, sweating, heart pounding. Each time, she knew it was her. The girl with her face. Her missing half. Her twin was not hiding anymore. She was calling. Waxing crescent moon the mark. By the third night, Linda noticed a small bruise on her collarbone. She thought it was from a fall. But the next day, it darkened. Then it shifted. By morning, it wasn't a bruise anymore. It was a symbol. The same snake from the bracelet. Only now, coiled around the second one. Ezina gasped when he saw it. "That's the mark of twins bound by fate," he said. "It's not a curse anymore. It's a tether. You're connected now." Linda's voice cracked. "She's pulling me to her. Or you're being invited." Either way, she had to go. The vision journey. Ogudai came to the compound that evening. They didn't send for him. He simply arrived, holding a red gourd, barefoot, and humming. "I know," he said before anyone spoke. "She's close. But not in body, yet." Linda stared at him. "Can you take me to her?" Ogudai looked at her with those white, empty eyes. "No. But I can help you see her." They gathered in the old shrine behind the village. He painted chalk around Linda's forehead and arms. Ezina stayed by the door, watching every move. "Close your eyes," Ogudai said. "Breathe in. Breathe out. Let the tether pull you." Linda obeyed. The gourd opened. The herbs burned. And darkness swallowed her. Cyclone inside the dream world. She was standing on a cliff, overlooking a valley filled with fireflies. Below, a girl knelt at a river. She wore the same wrapper. The same hair. The same scar behind her ear. Linda whispered, "It's me." But it wasn't. The girl stood. Turned. Her eyes were black. But her face, identical. And then she spoke. "I died before I could speak. I was buried before I could breathe. But I learned to survive in the dark." "Who are you?" Linda asked. The girl smiled sadly. "I am what you could have been if love never found you." Linda stepped closer. "Why are you helping Adogo?" Her twin laughed bitterly. "Because she gave me a voice. When your mother threw me to the shadows, Adogo's family found me. Raised me. Fed me hate. I was never meant to be your enemy, Linda. But now, I have no choice." "Then fight it," Linda begged. "We can stop this together." But her twin shook her head. Only one of us will survive the binding. Only one of us will carry the light. What binding? Her twin pointed behind her. Linda turned and saw a giant serpent coiled around the valley. Its head had two faces. One smiled. One wept. Then the girl's voice whispered, "Soon, we must meet. Under the moon. At the hill of silence. There, the light must choose." Dashing away back to reality. Linda gasped and sat up. The chalk on her forehead had melted. Her clothes were soaked. Ezina grabbed her hand. "What did you see?" She whispered. "She wants me to meet her. At the hill of silence. During full moon." "That's in 2 nights," Oguda said. She said, "Only one of us will survive the binding." Ezina's face darkened. This was never just a curse. This is a test. A battle for identity. One of you was never meant to exist. Linda wiped her face. "I'm not going there to fight her." "Then what?" "I'm going to set us both free." Warning the twin has spoken. The binding is near. And only one girl may carry the light. But Linda's heart is not set on victory, it's set on redemption. The full moon rose like a witness. Its silver light touched every rooftop in Umwakano, every tree branch, every whispering breath in the dark. But no one in the village slept, not after word spread that Linda had gone to the hill of silence. No one ever went there willingly. They said it was where unspoken things happened. Where pacts were signed in blood. Where souls were weighed. But Linda walked alone. A white wrapper around her waist. A red cloth tied around her wrist, her grandmother's old charm for protection. And in her heart, no fear. Ezina had begged to come. But she refused. This is between the two of us. Between the two lives born on the same day, but raised by different fates. Full moon at the hilltop. She reached the top just as the moon touched its highest point. The air was still. Too still. Then, a breeze. And out of the shadows, her twin stepped forward. Same height. Same hair. Same everything. Except her eyes, still black, still hollow. The girl wore no wrapper. Only ash smeared across her chest. "Welcome," she said. "To the place they tried to forget us." Linda swallowed. "You don't have to do this." Her twin smiled. "But I already did. The moment they chose you, and threw me away. It wasn't my fault. I know. But pain doesn't care who's to blame." The wind shifted. The ground trembled. A deep hum rose from beneath their feet, the earth responding to the curse. From the ground between them, a circle of fire erupted. The binding had begun. Fire, the final truth. As they stood in the circle, the flames formed images, visions. Linda's birth. The pact. The moment Nurse MMA walked out of the hospital with the second child. But then, another scene. One Linda had never seen. Her twin, only 5 years old, kneeling in front of an altar. Adogo's mother behind her. And behind her, Mama Ebiub. Linda's eyes widened. Her voice cracked. "No." Her twin stared at her. "You see it now. She helped raise you. She trained me. For years. Said I was too dangerous to stay. So they kept me hidden. Taught me things. Waited for the day I'd come and finish the work." Linda fell to her knees. She lied to me. Her twin knelt too. She lied to both of us. Crossed swords the choice. The fire blazed higher. A voice echoed from the ground. The same ancient one Linda heard in dreams. One must carry the light. The other must return to dust. Linda looked at her twin. And for the first time, her eyes weren't black. They were brown. Just like hers. She whispered, Take it. Her twin froze. What? Linda held out her hand. I give it to you. The light. Take it. I'm done fighting. You didn't ask for this life. And I won't let pain pass down another generation. Tears filled her twin's eyes. I don't deserve it. You deserve peace. They touched hands. The fire flared. Then vanished. Silence. Then, the earth shook once. And then, stillness. Sunrise the next morning. Linda woke at the base of the hill. Ezina was holding her. You're alive, he whispered. She nodded slowly. Where is she? Ezina looked up the hill. Gone. No one ever found the other girl again. Some say she vanished into the forest. Some say she became light itself. But Linda never spoke of it again. What she carried now was not a curse, but a memory of what forgiveness looked like, of what mercy cost. Warning: she didn't win. She didn't lose. She chose something bigger, freedom over vengeance. And sometimes, that is the most powerful ending of all.